10,000 tick trap. Pandas. Pandas. Pandas, 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 pandas. I got brawls and then I took some dope lead. And pandas, welcome to the stream. I'm about my money. Thanks for joining. We just finished the pre-market show. Always have a great time there. Good morning, everybody. Make sure you guys scalp that like button. Huh. I may start a 24-hour stream starting from next week. Maybe. I'm thinking about it. Pandas. I'm seriously thinking about it. What do you guys think? Good morning, guys. Good morning. Heart Attack Gaming. Day Trading. Good morning. Dante. Good morning. HCal. Good morning. JLV, yes, they made a new rule, which is a benefit for, I think, all traders, is that now you can withdraw. It used to be $1,000 you had to withdraw by a minimum for the P accounts. But the problem is that, you know, let's say you have like the 50K account, which is a very popular eval to have. Your trading threshold or your minimum you need to withdraw is 2,500. So if they say you have to at least pull out $1,000, then that will, you know, let's just say you just hit the 2,500 mark, then you will have to pull out $1,000, making your account balance to 1,500, which is terrible because that means you don't have much more room to trade. So them allowing you now to withdraw a minimum 500, it gives you more opportunity to leave a buffer for your accounts when you withdraw. So it's very good news. I think. Good morning, guys. Heart Attack Gaming. Good morning, Day Trading. Good morning, Dante. Good morning, HCal, JLV. Welcome. Harrison Proctor. Good morning. Welcome, guys. What a mess yesterday. Yesterday's price action was just in my opinion, untradeable the entire day. And it sucks, especially if you're actively looking at the market and this is all you see. It's just so hard to trade. You know, if you're going to trade anywhere here, it's very difficult. It's like 50-50. You don't know which way it's going to go, and that's the problem. So the probabilities are not good. The risk rewards are not good. Limit order market for most of the day. And finally, you know, you get this one big push down, clean leg with no follow through. It just doesn't even create a second inch short. And if it did, it probably would have trapped you on just one leg down. So what can you do? Guys? Aaron Korn, welcome, guys. Welcome. Glad that you guys are here. Thanks for joining. Amazing. We have BBM 80. it just seems like Apex just doesn't care anymore. They're like, all right, we're just gonna keep these all cheap now. And it makes you feel like at a certain point, man, it's like, do I ever want to pay even 50% off anymore? But hey, I'm not complaining. Thank you, Apex promo BBM 80% off all evals, and hope you guys enjoy that. I did post a video up about it. I usually create shorts for these promos, and this promo is a little special. I encourage you guys to watch the video that's in the pinned message, and it gives you a little bit more information about what happened with the latest updates with Apex. One of them being the $500 now minimum withdrawal, and some other giveaway stuff, which is amazing. I haven't really been excited for the giveaways, but now these giveaways are something to actually really want. And the best part is you automatically get entered if you reset or if you buy eval. For every eval, per eval, you get an entry. So it's actually quite a nice little caveat. I'm not sure that's enough reason to, you know, start opening, but it definitely helps in terms of you feeling okay. It gives you a little more bang for your buck. Indie Scalper, good morning. Janie Saints, hey Panda, how have you been? Pretty good. Speedy Boy, good morning. Richard, good morning. Kyle Lubers, good morning from Montañas. make sure you drop a GM in the chat if you're here. Love to see your names. And also, make sure you scalp that like button. Indie Scalper is happy with the news. Wayne Bicknell, welcome. Good morning. Thanks everybody for joining. Mindful Jazzy, good morning. Aaron Korn says Apex will give away 10 PAs to one lucky trader. Yes, sir. Make sure you guys watch that video in. Hey, also, pandas, it will greatly help if you guys can post this video and share with your friends. If you guys can post it on your social media groups or whatever, that would help me a lot. I would really appreciate if you told people about Apex and the great opportunities Apex provides. And I really hope you guys, will tell your friends and family or your groups that you're in. I think it's a great opportunity to begin futures trading, day trading at a very low risk, virtually no risk. GC Berg, morning fellow profitable traders. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying right now. That's what I'm saying. Exactly. Welcome to my channel. The most profitable trader on YouTube, verified. What other streamer would actually have the gusto, the cojones, to post their rhythmic while trading? Tell me, is there any trader able to do that live? I don't think so. All right, pandas, we got a little pullback here, and it's going to be right at the 20 EMA. The only problem is with this is that we have a strong bull bar, and then no follow through. Actually reverses here. That's typically a bad sign if you're a bull. And but according to this expanding pattern, our next destination would be to the top of this range. So this could be a pullback and one more leg up. It's confusing. We're right in the middle of this blue box. Seems like 50-50. So that being said, it's a little difficult to get a lot of information from the daily chart at this moment. I just feel like it just makes sense for this to push up here. But especially with a strong push up like this. And I don't know. It's right in the middle of this expanding triangle. Very difficult to say. 10,000 tick chart. Pushing down. And that's all it is. We kind of floated here for a little bit and then finally pushed down. The 5-minute chart, we're going to get a pretty large gap right at the open. And notice, pandas, we have a big gap here for the 5-minute chart. It's a large gap, and it's huge, actually. And we want to fill it. We most likely want to fill it. And like I mentioned before, we had a gap here before. It filled it. And then it made an even larger gap, which is just wild. In fact, there's a space right here where there's no price action whatsoever, which is kind of scary. It seems to me there will be like a vacuum here created. It will eventually hit this this area. I guess I would mark the area. It's actually a pretty big gap. Technically it's all the way down here, but I would just say from this area here, this vacuum area, and then actually will color this a different color so we can later in the future keep track of it. What color should a vacuum be? Purple. Purple for Dyson. Right. Isn't Dyson colors purple? I don't know. My vacuum is purple. Good morning, guys. Good morning. Make sure you scalp that like button. 50 likes before 9:30. Would really appreciate it if we can get there. Let's get to that 50 like goal. Am I plugging Dyson? I should. I should. Not sponsored by Dyson, but hey, Dyson honestly is the best vacuum. It is. Ted Rogers says, I pay like $90 a month for each one of my PA accounts. Is that normal or is there a cheaper option? There is a cheaper option. There's a lifetime fee that you can pay instead of the monthly one, but you have to decide to do that right when you open your PA account, and I don't think you can convert it afterwards. So you can just pay the lifetime fee. It's different for each account, and so just take note of it. You can find the information, more information on the website at Apex. Jay Mondani asks, how do you set up the 5-minute chart? No overnight session. If you go and into the data series, you can access it to two ways. You can right click your chart, go to data series, or you can go to the top of your chart and you'll see a little graph looking icon of, 4 to the right of the icons, and you'll see trading hours. In there, I select US equities RTH, regular trading hours. There are probably other ones with similar things, but that's just one I chose. Salvatore is smart. He says, I'm so inconsistent right now, I can't afford the one-time fee. And that makes sense, right? If you're still practicing, if you know you're going to blow your accounts, like let's say you get 50K account, like you know you're going to blow your accounts, then, there's no reason to really try to get the lifetime fee. But if you're like in a comfortable place, thinking that you keep your accounts longer than like a few months, then I would pay the one-time fee. RP Mink did not just say Dirt Devil as a vacuum. That thing had like, it couldn't even lift up like a napkin. Make sure you guys scalp that like button. We are almost to market open, and today I am hoping for some good price action. Come on. Come on. Daily chart, basically a pause bar. Market typically continues what it did the day before. So we could have another doji bar today. Doji day today, which means a lot of choppy price action. 80% off code ends. If you watch the video, you can get more information about the promo. Go ahead and watch the video. It gives you more information about it. David Wall says, takes a long time to blow a 50K account if you're trading one micro. Exactly. So if you're like deciding that you want to trade long term, such as trade micros on a 50K account, then I would recommend get the lifetime, because it takes about 2 months of the 50K account to make up the money, right? I think it's like $160 for the lifetime. So it's just like 2 months worth. So if you think you're going to keep the account for at least 2 months, it's worth doing the lifetime. Berg, I need a dust filter for Hoover Max Extract Pressure Pro Model 60. Can you help me with that? Trying to get a new passport. Honestly thought I love that. Those two series are probably the best series of all time, I think. Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. They're different. I like them both a lot. I like Breaking Bad more. Like they're different, but overall, I think Breaking Bad was better. It had more variety, I think, just more of a bigger universe. And Better Call Saul, kind of like, it was a little more one-noted to me. Not one-noted, but less notes, I guess. Still a very good, still a very good series. But if I had to choose, I would definitely choose Breaking Bad. I do this channel here because we've been in it for a while. So let's see if we break through. We did have an overshoot, maybe leading to an undershoot here, and then reverse back into it. Notice on the 5-minute chart, large gap here. We're in the land of the gaps. We're seriously in the land of the gaps. Usually there's not this many gaps, but the 5-minute has so many gaps here. The gap here, gap here, gap here, gap here, and gap up here. So we're just like between all these gaps. What are we gonna do? Unsure. Salvatore, if I want to trade 1 micro, I'm gonna do it with my own money. Why? Just why? I would definitely say if you're practicing with micros, or if you're practicing, start with micros. Definitely want to start with micros. And there's a way to trade micros on a tick chart that mimics the ES, the E-mini. The way you can do is the overlay. And so if you do that, then yeah, you can do it overlay. There's instructions on the channel. Just look up overlay on the channel, and you can find instructions how to do an overlay. Right now we are just crawling. Let's see if we get some good price action here. I disagree with Richard Harris. He says if you're not consistent, prop firm ain't gonna help, in my opinion. Well, it can help because it gives you more than just money. It gives you free license and also a free data. So it gives you an opportunity to even practice with sim. So I think prop firms are very helpful. But I also agree that if you're not profitable, do not go and buy 20 accounts and try to copy them, because you're probably going to lose your 20 accounts. You only start cranking the amount of accounts you have after you become profitable. That's my recommendation. That means that you start with 1 account, get it up to withdrawal point, maybe 1 or 2 withdrawals, and then you say, okay, with that money I gained from withdrawing, I'm going to open more accounts and pass a couple more evals. Then you can just start a train like that. But I would recommend you should prove you know, everyone deceives themselves. You gotta prove to yourself through some tangible means that you are profitable. And I think getting to the point of withdrawal a couple times is a good way to do it. David Wall says the 950 MES looks very similar to 1000 ES. Yeah, I can see that. Maybe about half the contracts. The only problem is not exactly the same. So, you know, if you want to, like, let's say practice on MES but switch over, have a smooth transition to the ES, there might be little subtleties that that you may not capture. We are just grinding down right now. Been in a trading range for a while. I would say this is like a break a trend to new low, consolidation. Could bounce here, reverse. Wouldn't be surprised if we get a failed second entry short here and I take it. And then after I take it, I lose it. But pandas, for those who are interested, we got an 80% off code right now on Apex. And tell your friends and family, tell the groups that you're in, BBM80. It's a great opportunity, I think, to, you know, if you're on the fence of trading, you want to get into day trading, the best way to do it, in my opinion, is through prop firms. It is through futures trading, and it is, in my opinion, the best way to day trade. A, B, C. Something like this. Am I looking for a second entry short here, pandas? Are you guys looking for a second entry short? By the way, also helps a lot if you click on the link in the pinned message. Share that video with friends and family, but it helps a lot if you click it. and watch it. Also, there's more information about the promo going on. It's not just the BBM 80, but there's a couple exciting things that go along with it. If you want more information, please click on that, including new rules when it comes to withdrawals. You don't want to miss that. Apex BBM 80 Memorial Day promo. Let me ask you guys, what would you do here if we get a second entry short? I'm going to set up the poll. If we get the second pullback, go ahead and ask. A, B, C. Second entry short. After break a trend to new low. You know what? The funny thing is we got to break a trend and new low already. Then we got this push up, and then we may be in a downtrend. It's hard to say. Hard to say. Regardless, this has a break of trend now here. Interesting. Trap trade could be a double trap here. I don't like the choppiness of this market. Don't like how we have like several overlapping bars on the way down, which means that we're in a limit order market. Even though we're going down, we're in a limit order market to go down, which makes things very confusing. There it is. Pandas, will you guys take this second entry short here? Off the 20 MA. ABC. Second entry short. Or would you look for the trap trade? You gotta decide now. The thing is, you gotta decide before the trade triggers if you want to enter the trap or not. Oof. 5 overlapping bars in a row at this point, but all underneath the 20 MA. Creates an outside bar reversal. Therefore, I'm out. Skip it. Outside bar reversal just means confusion to me. Sometimes I like outside bar reversals, especially when it comes to traps. But if it's just like a second entry short where I'm a little bit confused, do we already have a break of trend to new low? So are we looking for a reversal at the bottom of the channel at this point? Or is this just a strong second entry short? I don't know. It's right off the 20 MA. 54% of you guys said yes. 38% of you guys said no. Well, you guys know my answer. I didn't take it, especially because of outside bar reversal. Could have came with a retracement there. If you like this strong entry bar, you can come with a retracement there saying, I didn't like the outside bar reversal, but I like the entry bar. And then I like to come with a retracement, which is what people did here. I'm still sitting in my pause, a little bit confused. Let's see if we can get a scalp here. Looks good for a scalp almost. Struggling to get there, but looks decent for it. Thoughts and prayers to those who are in this short. You never want to see green when you're in a short. But you've been positive this entire time if you entered here, which is good news. Your trade has been positive for most of the time. That might change very soon. The trade just reversed here, and I hate when trades reverse. Never want to be in that. And you at this point could come out break even with profit at this point. So it does reverse but doesn't go very far. And at any point in time you could have came out break even. You could have skunked the trade. Some of you guys say, why would I do that? The risk is like barely even 2 points. A little more than 2 points. So the risk is like a 1-to-1 risk reward ratio. It's not bad risk for the current situation. You can say that risk is worth it and be happy in this trade and either lose it or hold it until you get it. Like I said, pandas, it helps a lot if you guys watch the video. If you guys click it, watch it. Even though you're like, oh, I already know the promo, I already know what it is. Pandas, do me a solid. Watch that video. I like to see the views up on the video. I like to see it being spread. I like the YouTube algorithm to say, hey, pandas love this video. And also like that video as well. That helps a lot. Get the word out about Apex. Get the word out about BBM80. 80% off. We're just chilling here. By the way, if you're just joining, welcome to my channel. I am Bye Money, and here you can see I am the most profitable trader ever to exist on YouTube, verified. Live streaming. Whew, what's going on here? Micro triple top. This is rough. This is rough. I'd be sweating right now if I was in a short. Definitely wouldn't be in a long though. Okay, I would definitely be sweating now. Let's see how it reacts off the 20 EMA. I'm curious. Okay, virtually no reaction yet. So 54% of you guys took that second entry short, and 54% of you guys are sweating, on your knees, praying, hoping that this doesn't stop you out. Oof, that's not good. If you're short, that is not what you want to see. That is not what you want. Oof. Look, I can feel all the emotions of those who are short. That okay, just got stopped out. So unfortunately, if you took that short, if you're going for 2 points, you would got stopped out. But if you're going for 1 point, you would have gotten it. It depends on how much you want for the scalp. The minimum you need for a scalp is 1 point, said by Al Brooks. According to Al Brooks, I like to go for 2 points because of the just the probability, the balance between probability and risk reward is a little bit better, I think. Big reversal here. Strong move up. Looking for a second entry long at this point. Wow, what a move. Looks like we're gonna try to fill that gap on the 5-minute chart. The 5-minute chart is showing a gap here, quite a large gap. And we may try to fill it, especially if it's a strong bull bar ending near its high. I'm quite bullish now since I also have the channel. The channel has shown an overshoot to an undershoot, and we are coming back into the channel, like deep into the channel. So I'm thinking of, you know, this channel is going to come into play, and we may get back to the top of it. At least attempt it. So I'm looking for a long trade here at this point. Let's see if we get it. Fails or fail second entry short or a second entry long. Either one is good. Pick your trade would be nice too. Big Mama time. Big Mama already passed. It happened overnight, and you can see that you've been to scalp out if you took Big Mama. Big Mama up here hasn't triggered yet, so maybe. Decently strong bear bar here. What does a fail second entry short look like? Jim Corvo says, new $500 minimum withdrawal rule. Yes, sir. Apex gets better and better each update. Second entry long is what I'm looking for. Or if it goes above like this and does something like that near the 20 MA, then that's also a fail second entry short. Good entry as well. Both of them are nice. Apex made a new rule. If you want more information, you can go to the video in the pinned message. But I think it's important enough for me to announce it here because, hey, it's really good news. So, Apex made a new. They modified their minimum withdrawal limit from $1,000 to $500, which means you can withdraw at as little as $500 when you request. The nice thing about that is that, you know, I think the most popular account size is probably the 50K account. I think because it's cheap and it gives you 10 contracts to trade. It's easy to pass, and also, hey, it's it gives you opportunity to trade a 50K account. So I think you know, it's probably the most popular, in my opinion. I think amongst you guys, and you know, maybe I could put a poll up, but Hey, you know what? I'll put a pull up. Let's do it. I know some of you guys might choose a 25K account, but this is not enough options in these polls. Second entry long Pikachu trade forming here. Oof. A, B, C. Ooh. Pandas. Pandas. Pandas, 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 pandas. Second entry long here. Above the 20 MA. It's quite choppy though, and it actually doesn't touch the 20 MA yet. Making this a little sus. Making it a little sus here. Little sus. But second entry long nevertheless. It's a Pikachu trade actually. You guys know what Pikachu is. Combination of a trap and a second entry. Terrible looking signal bar. Forming. Like very bad signal bar. The risk is not too bad though on this signal bar. Actually pushing down a little bit. I would like a nice signal bar here. The risk is about 1, 2, 3, about almost 3-point risk. Huh. Oof. If it triggers here, this will be your signal bar. I would have to come with a retracement on a nice entry bar. I cannot go long on this kind of signal bar. It's really bad. But if my entry bar looks nice, I'll consider it. Or if we get a good signal bar here and it triggers off of that, I'll consider it as well. But other than that, I gotta wait. I have to wait. I gotta be patient here. This signal bar is too bad. Cannot take it. It's a doji bar. Ending near its low. Oof, okay. I pretty much will take any green body here as a good signal bar. Maybe I'm a little too eager to go long here. Could have created a double top instead. I just like the fact that we came back into our trading range. Alright, we have a trade set up here. Let's see if it triggers. Second entry long. Coming off this decent push up after a double bottom. Bottom of a range. Pushing strongly above the 20 MA. Let's see if we get it. Notice if it creates... This is your new signal bar now. And so, if it ends bearish, then you have to consider it as your new signal bar. And readjust. Right now we got a micro double bottom. I am in this trade. It taps my entry and reverses immediately. I hate when that happens. It's never a good sign. It might work out here, but that's never a good sign. The moment it enters your trade, it just reverses like as if it's a repellent. That's not a good sign. I do not like when it does that. It makes me a little worried now, the fact that we couldn't even turn green yet on this trade. And I may lose this one. The risk is very small though, Pandas, only 2 points. So I'm okay losing this. I'm okay with any outcome here. My risk reward is 1-to-1, which is great for scalping. Trap. But this looks pretty terrible. All right, got doji bar now, confusion. Heading to the downside. Second entry long after a big push up. Market's been very confusing the last couple of days. You would think at least this could be a decent setup here. But we'll see. We'll see. It looks like it's going to trap me out. Almost. I got saved by 1 tick. Saved by 1 tick right there. It looks like it's trying to stop me out here. Second entry short on a 10,000 tick chart may trigger. Should I reverse my trade is a question. I'm gonna stay here because I feel like we're at the bottom of a range, so I can't go short here. Got stopped out, unfortunately. Ah, it's annoying. I'm $1 off from being profitable. How annoying is that? You know, you get a second entry long. It's been so long since we got any type of setup. Finally get a decent one after a strong push up, and instead it traps you out, and it's unfortunate. Really unfortunate there. I don't mind taking that trade, losing that trade, because of the fact that the risk was so small. The risk reward was 1-to-1, and so I'm okay with any outcome there, and I'm okay with that. So yeah, mostly I mean, it's not even close. Most of you guys do 50K accounts, so this is why I talk about 50K, and this is why I like to use it for the example. So let's just say you have a 50K account, and that means that if you are at the point of withdrawal, which is $2,500, and then you have to pull out a minimum of 1,000, that means you're left with 1,500 in that account, which is very little when it comes to trading e-minis. And so that means that you have to be, basically withdrawing a little too much money with 1,000. But if you pull out 500, then you can have around $2,000 left, which makes a big difference when it comes to trading. So I just think it's nice that they modified that. So it's really good, just for example, with the 50K account. A lot of you guys like the 50K account. I just, yeah, it is clear favorite here. Has one of the best. I think it's not the best, because the 25K account is actually the best value in terms of the stop your take profit, or the target ratio. The target to threshold ratio is the best in the 25K account, but it's very good in the 50K account. But the 25K account is just way too little. It's way too little, way too small threshold. Let me go and read a couple of your chats here. Salvatore says, I love it they remove the minimum account balance entirely, make stricter consistency rules, and this should prevent windfall traders. Okay. Let me withdraw whatever profit I've made. Yeah, I agree. I mean, if they should be able to let you pull out $1 if you wanted to. I don't see why. I don't see why that's a. Honestly, like before, when they first created Apex, the withdrawal system was pretty terrible. It's not like, and now they're using Deal. I think they can manage to actually, because for them it probably wasn't worth. I think they're like manually doing it, so like it's not worth for them to like you withdraw $1 and for them to do all of their auditing for that. Yeah, SW Blaze has a right, I think. Yeah, unfortunately I did lose this trade, but it's okay. I don't mind it. I think it was a decent trade. It's not the worst trade. The risk reward was not bad. And currently I am not a profitable trader. I'm down by $1 on my original account balance, so I can no longer say, but hopefully by the end of the stream, maybe. We'll see. Coop asks, what position size would you use for an average trade with an Apex 50K account, max contracts, news trade? You only need 6 points. 6 points to pass the eval. 6 point move to pass the eval. You could have, wait, was it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Actually, you wouldn't pass it there. But with news trade, if you can capture the news and guess right, max contracts, 10 contracts, looking for 6 point move either way, and you can pass it 50K. Very easy. But that's me. You asked me personally what I would do. That's how I like to pass my evals, because I just want to get PA counts. That's all I care about. Now when it comes to PA counts, I don't trade news, but when I try to get, if I'm trading evals, I'll trade news, sure. If I were to have to choose like a safe amount to trade with a 50K count for a PA count, let's say, then maximum 1 contract. I mean, that is already pushing it. If I were to do 50K count, I'd probably have to trade micros, unfortunately. 5 micros, 1 runner. and one of them being a runner. That's probably the best way to trade, in my opinion, with the 50K count. The reason being is because I can go through this, but this is in general, especially for new traders who don't know this. Okay. By the way, I'll be taking a H4 setup if it does trigger. I'm looking for H4 here, and I'll go long again. I still like my premise to go long. Having a hard time going underneath the 20 MA now.
5-minute trap.
Unfortunately, it looks like it just wanted to stop me out and then go the way I thought it was gonna go, which is it is what it is. Oof. Yep. Can't get my H4, which I would like. H4 would have been nice, but I don't think we're gonna get it. Just being patient here. Trap trade made trigger on the 10,000 tick. Decent bull bar ending on a tie. I'm still thinking long trade here. Still think long looks good. I could be completely wrong, but I still like the long here. Yeah, so if you guys don't know, the general rule of thumb, if you're gonna trade with your own personal money, is that you like to have, for every one emini, $10,000 of margin. That means if you have $10,000, if you open a futures account, you should have $10,000 for every one emini you trade. The reason being is because another general rule of thumb is you should never risk more than 2% of your account balance on any one trade. So if we're trading the E-mini and our typical stop loss or our max stop loss is 4 points, that means that we're willing to risk $200 per every trade. So that means that what's 2% of 10,000? It's $200. And so that's how we derive that number, having $10,000 for every one E-mini. Now, for me, you can basically see that the same in terms of the trailing threshold. The trailing threshold is actually the account balance that you have. If you guys don't know, when you trade prop firms, don't let the normal number, confuse you. Like the account size confuse you. The account size does not really matter. That only matters with how many contracts you can trade. What's really important is the trailing threshold. And so the trailing threshold is, let's say 10,000, which none of them are, but let's just say it is. Then that would be nice. For me, I like to trade. It eventually does go the way I thought it was gonna go. It just decided to trap me out here and then go finally. I wanted my setup, which is an H4 setup, but it doesn't appear. Now it's pushing up pretty strongly. And let's see if we can capture something here. I don't know if we can though. But that means that technically with the 50K account, your account balance is actually $2,500, right? $2,500. And that means that if you have $2,500, that's way lower than 10,000. For me, I'm comfortable. I'm willing to risk 4% on any trade of my account balance, which means that my minimum account balance I need, or my trailing threshold I need, is 5,000, which means that it's the 150K account. I personally trade. I like the 150K account. I think it has a good balance between trailing threshold, and also if you want to withdraw, you have to remember you need to get to the trailing threshold amount in your account balance and profit, which means that you need to make $5,000 before you withdraw. If you do a 300K account, that means you need to make $7,500 before you withdraw, because the trailing threshold is 7,500. But the 50K account is nice because you only need 2,500 to withdraw, and but also your trailing threshold is very little, so you're really risking it. With that being said, if you really want to trade appropriately, like properly, you need to trade micros for the 50K. If you want to trade properly. Now, I understand things change when it's risk-free. Things change that even though your trailing threshold is only 2,500, you've only paid $30 for it. So it also makes sense if you want to be aggressive, and I get it. So I am, it's up to you guys. 5-minute chart. Strong bull bar ending on its high, but beneath the 20 MA. Could create a second just short here. Oh, darn. I wish I could get this move, but I was waiting for the H4 setup here instead of the H3. And the H3 is the one that ends up triggering. Or a third entry. Or two-legged pullbacks in a row. However you want to see it. darn. Darn. Stops me out, unfortunately. This was the move I wanted, but yeah, premise was right. I don't know. Maybe it's just too choppy. Not sure. Not sure what would have prevented me from entering that trade again. Maybe the fact that we didn't have enough room to the top of this pivot high. You trigger here, it's only about 1.5 points of room. And like I mentioned, the moment you enter that, the moment it triggers and it reverses, that's never a really good sign. And it ends up stopping me out. It's unfortunate. But it is what it is, and I don't really regret taking that trade. I think it's an okay trade, especially with the risk being so small. You can make it up in one scalp, which is what I'm hoping to do in this stream, if we can get some good price action. GC Burke says, your results show how bad the first hour has been for the last few months. It's actually really true. The price action has been pretty bad. And it's really unfortunate for those entering futures trading, because it's like when I entered, it was like the heyday. The volatility was great, and I thought it would never end. It was amazing. Every day there were like 5, 6, 7 setups. Now it's hard to find even one, and especially in the morning opening hours. You have to have good price action, and unfortunately it usually happens around news. So which means that tomorrow, which reminds me, tomorrow there is news. 50K, or sorry, there is news tomorrow, CPI, and it's news that most likely you can pass a 50K account. Max contracts, if you choose the right side, 50-50. Maybe if you have some good analysis, you can change those probabilities a little bit, but pretty much you're banking on the fact that news will move the market at least 6 points with very little drawdown. And so tomorrow there's big news, CPI numbers, and I say it's big because CPI has to do with inflation. So right now our market's very sensitive to inflation news. Coop said Apex specifically does not want you to trade news though. With the evals, they don't count. With PA counts, definitely don't trade news. I'm only saying this with eval counts. Jim's as wouldn't 25K make more sense since you get to pay out quicker? Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. I don't think it makes more sense. I like the fact you can trade 10 contracts, which is very nice. And because you'll never trade more than 10 contracts. I haven't looked too much into the 25K count, but I can see there's probably a reason to trade 25K count as well. Daunting method. Would they prevent withdrawals if they find out you trade news? I cannot say that. I don't want to make any promises. I don't know. Maybe one day they're going to be like, we're going to look way back at your eval. Noticing your eval, you passed on news. So we're going to deny your PA count now after, 5-6 months of trading. I don't know if that's going to happen. I find that to be unlikely, but hey, I can't make any promises. I don't want to, give you any false pretense here. So I cannot answer that question. Okay, strong move up and then just strong move back down. Cool. Second entry short triggers on the 10,000 tick chart. Right at the 20 EMA with the worst type of signal bar. The 5-minute chart setting up a second entry short. Doesn't touch the 20 EMA yet. Look, we're between two huge gaps here. Gap here and also a huge gap below. Jeez, which gap are we going to fill first is the question. We're in the land of the gaps. Whew. Tough, confusing. Hugh says, is it possible that the institutions have eliminated the edge that second entries once had? They are. They are eliminating it. But it's not eliminating in the way you think. They're not purposely eliminating it. They're not saying, wow, we see this setup, we figured it out, and then now we're going to do stuff to mess people up. It's rather the way it kind of balances itself out naturally is that we used to have very strong, nice trending days. Now we have a lot of chop, and second entry shorts do not work well in chops, right? Second entry short or second entries are setups for trends. You can trade them in ranges, but they're more trend friendly, and so the way the market is naturally balancing itself out when it comes to second entries, I think, is by just becoming very choppy. And that's going to balance out a lot of strategies. Unless you have a strategy that works very well in chop, then what the market's doing is really balancing out all of those strategies that were working well for a while. Now they're kind of getting balanced out. A lot of them are failing right now because of the choppiness. Coop said, is it better to have 3 50K accounts or one 150K account? Trying to figure the best way to scale up. Tough to say. If you can get your 50K accounts all up to $5,000, then better to have 3 of them. Because at that point, there's not much difference between the 50K account and the 150K account, other than you have $15,000 now. But it's just difficult. If you can get your 50K account up to $5,000, then yes, better to have 3 50K accounts. So if it gets even tighter, will you change your strategy, or is it still good in a small range? I don't think I'm gonna change my strategy. Like, eventually I'll probably add a little more tools, but you know, the current market has really made me think that I should have maybe a couple other setups that I should really trade, even on stream, because it kind of gets a little dull, to be honest, which is annoying. I also have Big Mama, which has basically carried me through this season. Big Mama trades. If I didn't have Big Mama trades, my trading would have been terrible. Like, you know, I'm down $1 right now on my Ridge account balance. I'd be down a lot more if I didn't have Big Mamas. Second entry short triggers on the 10,000 tick and also the 5-minute now. 5-minute chart, second entry short, 2,000 tick, decent push down here, and we could potentially get a failed second entry long. Am I interested in the failed second entry long? I actually don't know what to do here. It's a little bit confusing. Feels like trading range, if anything, to be honest. Feels like we've been in this kind of blue box area for a while, and we're kind of bouncing it. The trading range indicator is also giving us a trading range. I could just use that as my proxy, but this trading range indicator has been giving me trading range, and you can see that it's respecting this trading range at the moment. You can see the trading range indicator here, this red line and this green line. What's my setup? Do I take the fail second entry long here, pandas? Would you take a trap here? Give me a 1 in the chat if you take the trap here. A, B, C. Fail second entry long, fails and reverses. Second entry long here, fails, reverses. Would you take this trap trade, pandas? Give me a 1 if you would. Give me a 2 if you'd skip it. I'm definitely not going to take the second entry long, but I'm thinking if I should take the trap here if it triggers near the 20 MA. We may not even get the setup. If it pushes too far down, it may be too far away from 20 MA. It might move without us. Essentially, this was an inside bar. Break beneath it. A lot of you guys would take the trap if you guys see a good setup here. Interesting. A couple of you guys have said 1 at least. Sometimes I feel like you guys are just saying 1 so you can see me try to do it on stream. You guys don't even care. You guys aren't even thinking about it, taking a trade here. Strong bear bar on the 5-minute chart. Interesting. Curious here. Curious to see what happens. Second entry long, failure, reversal. Ooh. Break a trend to new high. Only problem is I feel like we're in a trading range. It's very difficult for me to go short in the trading range if this is the trading range, because I feel like we're near the bottom of it. Tough, tricky market. Or who knows, maybe the second entry long would just be a nice push up at the bottom of the trading range. That could be possible as well. Notice the second entry long doesn't even trigger and it goes with, and it just wants to push down again. Did you notice that? Doesn't actually trigger, it's a micro double top. Doesn't give me my setup, so if it does push down, it's okay because never got an entry, so what can you do? The safest thing to do here definitely is just not to trade anything because I have a lot of conflicting premises right now. Inside bar, interesting. It's gonna go without us, seems like. Right, it's like a bear bar, the micro double top, pushing down. Okay, I'm getting rid of this setup here because it didn't trigger. Like, we needed this to trigger one tick above this bar for us to enter short there with a decent signal bar. Unfortunately, it doesn't even give us that setup, so we're gonna watch this go. But who knows, it might be a blessing in disguise because it may fail. We'll see. It looks like it's gonna drop though. What can I say? Strong bear bar in the 5-minute chart, most likely some follow through, and looks like it's gonna push down. 10,000 tick chart, also second entry short. Looks like it's gonna test the lows here. And I had all of that in my mind, waiting for that trap to trigger. But it doesn't ever trigger, so what can you do? Frustrating. Price action these days have been so bad. Finally get a second entry during stream that I think is decent and then fails. Super frustrating. And it fails and actually goes the way you thought it was gonna go right afterwards. So frustrating. Very frustrating, to say the least. Maybe it's a blessing in disguise because this could reverse here. Your stop loss would be up here. Hugh has a good point. There is actually a measure move here, which I missed. Measure move hit almost to the T. And then reverses. So people think maybe this up leg is done with 2 legs up. Trap trade here may trigger still. Interesting. I just don't like the fact that I see a yellow line here and we're basically at the bottom of the channel. I don't want to go short into that. What's the point of me drawing channels if I'm not going to consider them in my trading? Trap does trigger here now. But now we're right at this support area. Can't trade here. Can't trade here.
Five-minute trap.
No idea. Interesting. That's a weekly chart, by the way. Daily chart, maybe balancing off the 20 EMA. 5-minute chart, gaps to fill above and below. 10,000 tick chart looks strong bear leg here. 2,000 tick chart. Who knows? I'm just gonna watch it go without me. I just cannot make a clear decision here. Especially with one loss, I definitely want my next trade to be like a trade that you say, oh my, I need to take this trade no matter what. I hate to have 2 losses here. Next setup, I want it to be like S tier. Pandas, make sure you scalp that like button. I'm Bye Money, and I used to be the most profitable trader on YouTube, but I'm currently down $1. But on a trade I thought was worth. Welcome to my channel. We do have a promo BBM80. Make sure you guys click on the link in the pinned message. It helps a lot. Even if you watched it once, watch it again. Listen to Whitney Houston just absolutely kill the national anthem. You know, if you guys don't know, I think that's the greatest rendition of all time of the national anthem. Whitney Houston, Super Bowl, she just absolutely destroyed it, and it like brings tears to my eyes sometimes when I listen to it. It's just beautiful. And you know, you just take a gander, watch the video. You got a second entry short here, pandas. Are we in a downtrend? What are we in? Goodness. We could already say this is a break of trend to new low. Confusing. It's tempting to go short here just because you're like, man, looks like a second entry short here. It's very rare you see like a nice setup at all. Okay. Ends up being a blessing in disguise, not taking anything here. Chris Stapleton rendition. James, use my code for 25k rhythmic. Hey, appreciate that. But really, at the end, you're welcome. Make sure you guys click the link in the pinned message. We got a second entry short here, pandas. Do I want to take it though? I can't. We are too choppy. We're too range bound here. It's gonna be hard for me to take the short here. I just cannot take it. I cannot take it. Cannot take it. If I'm gonna say what the market cycle is, to me, trading range indicator, trading range price action. With that being said, I'll take a trap here to the long side if we get a failed second entry short. Sounds foolish, but hey. That's my setup right now. That's what I'm looking for. Okay, second entry short does trigger. Let's see. I'm curious to see what happens. This is where I'll take an outside bar reversal. Gotta time this. If it does, give me a signal bar here. From the way it's moving, it feels like it wants to make a new low, right? And instead of this, it would be like this. Okay. What's going on here? Can we get a range play here? Is it possible? Is it possible that Bye Money can actually trade the range today? Is it actually possible? Pandas and ranges, it's like water and oil. They just do not mix. Ooh, that's your signal bar, but I don't know. Thoughts and prayers to me. Thoughts and prayers. Small risk. Again, willing to take it. Very small risk for a range play here. Let's try it. bottom of the range back to the top of the range. Okay, about to trigger here. Second trade of the day. Let's hope I don't have 2 losers in a row. It's the most I can ask for. Getting choppy now. Has an overlapping bar here now. Making this even more sus. Making it very sus now. I don't like that. Oof. Inside bar. Huh. It's making these a little bit confusing now. Yoto, you only trade once. What's going on here? If we get 3 overlapping bars, I'm canceling it. Yeah. All right. Whatever happens here, I'm just gonna let it happen. Let it be. It's too confusing. Too many overlapping bars. Micro triple top forming here. May cause a decent push down. Might actually be this instead, where this is a break of trend, now looking for a new low. That's probably the most subjective part when it comes to trading. Drawing your trend lines. Because you could go short like this. I was deciding to do this because I felt like trading range. But it could be this too. Who knows? Oof. Oof. In and out of the 20 EMA. Very confusing. 3 overlapping bars in a row. Yikes. I gotta skip it. Even though it might be a decent trade, I just gotta skip it. It's just going in and out of the 20 MA, and the general rule of thumb is just to not trade if it does this. Not because it can't work, but it just may not. I mean, of course it can work. Anything can work, but it's just, you have to think long term. Like, would I be willing to take this trade 10 out of 10 times? And here, honestly, I would say no, I wouldn't. I wouldn't be comfortable taking this even one time. Wow. It's just completely choppy. Just sitting on my pause, waiting for something to happen. But meanwhile, pandas, while we wait for this chop, go ahead and click the video in the pinned message. It helps a lot if you guys watch it. And I'm probably going to remind you guys to keep watching it. Watch it again and again. It helps me out a lot, and appreciate it. Please do so. I may do a 24-hour stream. I may just do a 24-hour stream. 24/7 stream. But probably next week. It was really fun doing it. I did it once last year. It was really fun. For what? For fun. 24/7, yeah, right. I've done it before. I done 24/7 for about a week. Well, I guess at the end it was 24/5 because there's no reason for me to stream over the weekend. Unless you guys want to watch me play video games. Whew. Trap triggers finally after 4 overlapping bars in a row. At this point, it's impossible to decide what's going to happen here. Strong bull bar, you might be able to come with a retracement, or if you like it, you can enter right now. Turtle toes. Trade with Apex while playing Apex. That's just too meta. Trading with Apex while playing Apex. How crazy is that? Yikes. Pandas. I mean, it's gonna go without me because I'm not comfortable trading after 4 overlapping bars in a row over the 20 MA. I just cannot do it. Even though I felt like this was gonna happen, I just can't do it. Not with that much overlap. Ends up scalping out finally, but this price action in general has just been so choppy. Very difficult to trade. David Wall asks, "What games am I playing now?" I'm lame. I've only been playing a game called TFT. It's like a I don't know. They use the League of Legends engine, and it's basically like I don't know what to call it. It's just like you just like set up your you set up your board, and they just auto attack, and the other person does the same thing, and who wins? I play lose money on evals. How quickly blowing your eval speed run. Apex, the only way to trade where you can literally reset and continue. Where you can die, but try again. Wow. Panda, sorry, I have no setups here. The one setup that I liked fails, but everything else, no idea. I mean, it was a decent setup. It's not the worst. Strong push up. Hits the bottom of the trading range. Then you can get back to the top of the trading range, which eventually does. Takes me out. It's unfortunate. Jay-Z says you can't reset PAs. No, you cannot. Only for evals. That'd be crazy if you could reset PA counts. Like, what would stop you from just cranking every trade? Hugh says, I had one eval one time. I took my first trade, lost it, doubled down the reversal trade, lost that one too, blew the eval within 35 seconds. That's a world record. I don't know anyone that can beat that. I mean, I guess someone can beat it by losing on the first trade. But yeah. You know what? I've lost trades much quicker than that. Since I tried trade news with the evals, it's like I'll lose them in one trade. By the way, Pandas, there is news tomorrow, CPI news, and I believe it's a make or break your account trade. Nothing's guaranteed, but I feel like the CPI news would be strong enough to do that. And yeah, let's just say I may trade the news tomorrow. I may want to get some more PA counts. Why not? We have an 8080 BBM 80 code right now, and take full advantage of it while it lasts. Pandas. Also, it helps a lot if you guys share the video that's in the pinned message. I'll probably be saying this often, but you know, it helps a lot if you guys spread the news about what's happening here on this channel, that we trade with Apex every single day, risk-free. And the most beautiful thing about it is that the greatest part about Apex is not even that it's risk-free. The greatest part is that you have a trade copier that just increases your leverage by as many times as you want, up to 20 accounts. So I guess up to 20x. So that means that if you make $100 a day, let's just say we'll max it out. I mean, I don't do this with you guys because it's not, you know, it doesn't happen very often. But let's just say max potential. What can you get with Apex? And we're going as little as $100 a day. If you can make $100 a day and you have the max 20 PA counts with Apex, 20 accounts, 20. Guess what? If you can make $100 a day, that means at the end of the year you can make $500,000. $500,000 with an initial investment of like $1,000. You can make you have the potential to make $500,000, and literally you can trade big mamas. That's it. If you just trade big mamas, you can reach that goal. Just trade big mamas every you know, as your only setup. Goodness. Second entry short. Amazing. I mean, this price action. L4 setup, hit the top of the trading range, back to the bottom trading range. And this is what I meant. I can't go short here because of this yellow trend line. And also I feel like we're in trading range and we're at the bottom of it. It's insane. Terotos feels like he's in a rut. You know, that's not a bad idea. You know, if you really feel like you're in a rut and just feel like you're like regressing a lot, then maybe it's good to step away for a week or 2 weeks. And maybe you might end up saying, maybe trading's not for me. I realize I love life without trading. And that's, you know, if you figured that out, that's nice. I'm glad that you did. But you know, at the same time, maybe you need that time just to say, hey, I need to reset that mental capital. Maybe I haven't done it actually. Now I come back, the charts seem fresh. I'm seeing things I haven't seen before. And yeah. I personally think it's worth sitting down and being very real with yourself and figure out why you lose money. Why you lose money. The quicker you're able to be humble and accept your weaknesses when it comes to trading, the quicker you are to actually profitability. And it's a tough thing to do, to say maybe I'm just not good in trading ranges. Maybe I'm not good recognizing chop. You know, it's hard to admit that you suck at something, especially something you really want to be good at. But that's how you end up becoming good. You realize, man, choppiness, I realize I missed that a lot. Or ranges. Like I figured that, man, sometimes I should go short into the bottom of ranges. I do that often. And sometimes you think that, man, like I keep expanding the amount of contracts I trade when I lose. Like losing it bothers me way too much, and so therefore I feel like every loss means that I have to double up next time to make it up. And you got to be real with yourself, and we're gonna make rules for yourself to not do that. So I just think sometimes it's good just to step away and really reassess things. Turtles. I mean, I agree that people who are very frustrated enough feel like maybe they're like, man, I suck at trading. I think are realizing or coming to realization that in a choppy market, trading is very difficult. And I feel like that's what has been for last several months. Look at the price action. We've been in a range for how long? For an hour straight. We have been in like a 10-point range, and inside there, even inside the range, near the bottom of the range, we had a setup that fails. So it's just like it's a mix of things, especially those who are learning and they enter very difficult. It's like sometimes very demoralizing. It's like let's just say that you start doing like boxing or like jiu-jitsu or something like that, and you just begin, and then they match you up with all black belts. It's not like you're not learning. It's not like that you're not good or have potential to be great. But if you're just facing black belts off the bat, you just you're just doomed for failure, and also it might stunt your growth. So that's kind of I mean, you probably grow very fast. You learn a lot of mistakes, but at the same time, sometimes too demoralizing, and you might leave, you might quit before getting over that hump. So I think a lot of people are learning about patience and the value of patience, the value of sitting on hands strategy. That's what this is. Our hands are going numb because we've been sitting on them for so long, and that's a strategy. Numb hand strategy, sit on hand strategy. That's the number one strategy we practice here on this channel. I mean, it's not even my fault. There's nothing I can do. I don't see any setups. I don't understand what's going on. I understand what's going on, but what's going on is that it's untradeable. Potential head and shoulders here. So maybe that's encouraging to some people. People who are entering saying, man, this is very hard. I'm not really getting it. Because the market has been very tough. What can I say? But imagine if the market starts to become clear, clean, and volatility comes back to the market. Just imagine how good you'll be. You'll be like, you'll be like now that person who got beat up by all the black belts, learning what you can throughout it, for a year, and then coming out the other side and now versing all white belts. You're the person now inflicting punishment. And it's just like, it's kind of like hopefully how it will be when the market gets back into shape. Okay. Fail trap again. We got two failed traps here. Interesting. We got wow. One failed trap to the downside. Another failed trap to the downside. Another trap down to the downside. Three failed traps to the downside. Interesting. It's a lot of traps. It's not the day for traps. This is not the day for traps. Guys, make sure you guys scalp that like button. Okay. Finally gonna test a 5-minute 20 EMA, seems like. Looks like we're into the 20 EMA here with a second entry short. Do I like it? No, I don't. I want to find a trap trade to the long side. That's actually what I want to find on the 5-minute. I want to see 2 strong bull bars above the 20 EMA on the 5-minute chart. I want to see reversal here. I want to see a strong breakout to the upside. That's what I'm expecting. We'll see though. That's where I would feel confident in trading. Second entry short here. Let's just say it's failed many times in this situation. Nasir says, it's never about the market. You're getting it wrong. I don't agree with that. I think some markets are more difficult. I mean, I guess in a sense that's true. Because it's a difficult market, I may be getting it wrong more, which makes sense. But the difficulty is increasing as the market gets choppier. It can be difficult. I would say there's different levels of the market in terms of how clear some of the direction and volatility is. I think, so yeah, in a sense, yeah, you are getting it wrong, but it's because the market is like on the hard mode, let's say. So it's a mix, Of course I could trade better. And of course, like I should learn how to adapt in the market. I should learn how to adapt into choppiness. But in general, the risk reward in choppy markets are not, it's not worth it, Al Brooks would say that. The thing about choppy markets is that, your probabilities are low and your risk reward is not even that great. So it's just, why would you take these trades? Mathematically doesn't make sense. Risk reward is bad and your probability is low. It's the worst combination of trading. But honestly, I feel like it's been like this for 6 months straight. Actually, 7 months now. I would feel like last year in November is when it starts to get very, very just low volume and just not very clear. 7 months, I feel like it's been like this, to be honest. Basically last year, this is the weekly chart. Last year, just been, while we're in this range, it's been very difficult. This is a weekly chart, by the way. Daily chart, we have a huge range on the daily chart. Like around this time, November, when it started doing stuff like this, when it started doing this, earlier in the year, and doing this is the daily chart. It's just has not been very clean. Next year says, I don't know, I've given it 4 years. I'll give it 1 more year. If nothing changes, then I'll call it quits. It is what it is. 4 years is a long time, and I think a good amount of time to assess, like, if you really haven't gotten better. It's not even being profitable. I think a lot of people get this wrong. People think, why am I not making like millions of dollars? People typically took Al Brooks 10 years. It takes other people 7 years to become profitable. And what I mean by that is this, and a lot of people get this wrong. People think you go from non-profitable to profitable. That is not the case. What happens is you go from non-profitable to sometimes profitable, sometimes non-profitable. You basically become like this break-even trader. You work and work and work, and until you can get rid of those really bad days, those really big red losing days. And so once you get rid of those, and you kind of start becoming this like break-even trader, and of course you mess up sometimes, but you convert to a break-even trader. And at a certain point, that break-even trader, as a break-even trader, you start to lean towards a little bit more to just a profitable trader, and that's kind of what happens. It's like it's a spectrum, really it is. And that word's kind of a trigger word these days, spectrum, but it is a spectrum actually. Like it's a gradual. It's not just black white. It's a bunch of levels in between, and in between you'll regress and progress. And it's it's like anything else that when it comes with humans and performance. William Surveys asks, when does the 80% off code expire? Expires end of the month, May 31st. Lauren says, I trade only propulsion. I'm taking a look at the 5-minute chart. 5-minute chart looks a little better than the 2000 tick chart at the moment. Strong bull bar ending on its high, testing the 20 EMA now. We have a second entry short here. A, B, C. Yeah, of course, I'll be tempted if we get a nice signal bar. I'll be tempted to go short there, but I also would like to go long with a trap trade there if it does happen. Unfortunately, I'm gonna end red today. I'm gonna be $1, $1 in the red on this account. Unfortunately. Darn. Pandas. Hey. Roshan asks, can you just dedicate a whole video to Big Mama? I'm about to. It's taking a long time, sorry. It's a lot harder than you think to create a nice video. So, and I have a project before then that I feel like I need to do before
10,000 tick
I
trap.
do the Big Mama video, and I'll get to the Big Mama sooner or later. It's just right now, other things are kind of popping up, so it's kind of being pushed back a little bit. I've already, I'm excited about it because it's amazing, and people on the Discord already know about it. And so it's just very nice that I'm getting really good results with it. So it's scary good, in my opinion. Scary good, better than anything I've ever tested before. And so I'm excited for it. So, but pandas, I'll see you guys tomorrow bright and early. Make sure you guys watch that video in the pinned message. Even if you watch it once, helps a lot if you watch it a couple times. And do appreciate that. And that being said, pandas, hope everybody trades safe. Don't go on tilt. And I'm down one trade here, and it's fine. Just reset, get back, find a good setup, and only trade the setups that you love. So pandas, trade safe, everyone. As always, happy trading. God bless. Bye.